Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lioness Den. We are back again with the Survivor Series. Hey, guys, last week was awesome. We enjoyed it. We thank you for tuning in, and this week is going to be just as great. So I tell you to grab your pens, your pencils, your pads, your recorders, whatever you need to do, and get ready for some inspiration this morning as we go into the Lioness Den. All right, we just want to not have, we want to have a little trouble today, but we're not going to. Hey, we are back. We were having a few technical difficulties, but we're back. We're here and we're ready to get right into it. This morning we have Tia Harris, Pastor Tia Harris, who's going to join us. So now let's welcome Pastor Tia to the Lioness Den. Hey, Tia, how are you? Uh oh.
Good morning. How are you?
I am blessed. I'm so happy
Good.
that you chose to join us today. Um, I already know that you are a survivor, but I'm so happy that you decided to share with us this morning. Before we start, can we start with the good news? Congratulations! Today is your
Th-
day.
Thank you so very much. I could not be so much more excited. It ain't but so much my body can take right now because I am on pins and needles with excitement about today. It means so much.
Yes. So today you're here with us, guys. She's going to tell her testimony, but I'm going to tell you how special we are because this is what I feel right now. I feel like we're special. Today, Pastor Tia is graduating with her master's, but she chose to join us this morning before her
Yes,
graduation. I am
wouldn't be
like
anywhere else.
ecstatic that she is here with us because
Yes.
how many people would join us today of all days? Okay. This is
Listen.
like awesome, awesome, awesome. And I would love it if we could flood the comments with congratulating Pastor Tia as we move forward because she has made some awesome accomplishments. Uh, Pastor
Mm,
Tia, if you don't mind me saying, we are close in age.
mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna say my age. I ain't gonna say your age. I'm
Good.
45. And and so Pastor Tia has done some things at her age that I am still working towards. So she has given me inspiration just with that alone. Um, Look, I ain't tell your age, Pastor Tia. I ain't do it.
It's
I ain't do
okay.
it.
I'm 40. I'm 43. So we there. We've been around
Okay,
the sun a few times, but we're
around the sun
definitely
a few
there.
times, but we
Yes,
here. And look, this
we
is
are
the good
definitely
part
here.
about that, though. Let me tell you the good part about it. I don't think we look in our 40s at all, Tia. I'm
We
just gonna tell
don't.
you that. I don't think we
We
look
don't.
40. I think we look
Nobody.
good to be 40-year
We look
olds.
real good. Listen,
Honey,
real
look, honey, you gotta turn side to
good.
side on that one.
Listen, it's some of the 19-year-olds that look older than us, but I ain't gonna
Yeah,
keep putting
honey.
it in the air. I ain't gonna keep putting it out there. Yeah.
Anyway, we're so glad that you're here. Pastor Tia, what inspired you to take this journey and you're not 19 because you've gone back to school to finish your degree? Let's talk about
Yes.
what inspired you first before we get to your inspirational message.
So what inspired me to go back was my sister Janet. Um, she passed September the 20th, and I watched her life and I helped to manage her care. And it's always been my dream since I was in middle school to actually, nursing wasn't my goal, but running facilities was my goal because I wanted to make sure that our African American people were treated better in the nursing homes. Once I experienced the odor of a nursing home in the eighth grade, I said something
Oh,
has
yes.
to be done about this because our African American people were sitting up against the wall in wheelchairs. They weren't really getting care, but this is where we did when Baltimore implemented service learning. So that was
Mm-hmm.
my first service
Yep.
learning experience going into the nursing home to volunteer and to sit with an elderly individual, which was then in the Genesis nursing facilities. It's different now and it's called Future Care, but the care really hasn't gotten much better since I was in the eighth grade. But that's with that. And with my sister Janet, she had MS, and when she passed away, I was like, what do I do to get back to me? Because for so long had been helping to take care of her for 9 years at the time that she passed away.
Wow.
So now it was like, what do I do with this time that I have on my hands? And I looked at, because I had a bachelor's degree already, I looked at what it would take for me to get in the health industry again. I first looked at going back to nursing school, but it was no really not much monetary help that I could get or financial assistance to get another bachelor's degree. It would have been all out of my pocket. So I went for
Right.
the master's in healthcare administration to get back into that setting.
And you went to your first experience was while you were still in high school, correct?
Yes, I was a CNA GNA when I graduated from Paul Lawrence Dunbar Senior High School, as you,
Woohoo!
the poet pride.
The poet
When I
pride.
graduated with my CNA GNA in the year of 1997, so I was doing nursing assistant work, trying to make sure that my patients received the best care that they could, and helping others to increase the quality of care. Even then, when by helping them get their patients to a better uh, I don't want to just say older, but to a better physical condition, because it was like we got to treat our aging better. That's what it was for me at
Absolutely.
that time. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Um, I'm not going to extend this any longer because we're going to talk afterwards, but I'd love for you to share your testimony with our audience. So at this time, I'm just going to turn it over to you, and then we're going to get back in it after you're done. Okay?
Okay. I sure will. So, who I am is a person, a survivor of much, from being molested to being raped, um, to experiencing some domestic violence. Also, different health issues, being a single mom out here in this world. I've been through that. I've survived it. My baby's now 15 years old. It's just, it's so much stuff that I've overcome. And recently it was very difficult. So you heard me mention my sister, Janet. And when she passed in September of 2020, following her, my first cousin passed in October. My best friend's mother passed in November. My godfather passed in December. I was still trying to catch up from all of the grief and loss at that time, in January. And I had one advisor when I really did look into school, that said, what are you waiting for? So I started the process to my master's degree in February of 2021. Um, just when it seemed like I was getting my head a bit above water, getting into a better career, that sort of thing. My sister passed in July, another sister. Then I had a nephew to pass in September. It was like stuff was just coming from everywhere. Okay, in 2021. December the 15th in 2021, I woke up with tingling on my right hand side, and it was from my shoulder down to the bottom of my foot. And I said, well, maybe I slept wrong. Maybe I slept wrong. And that was on a Tuesday. By Wednesday evening, I had lost some of the functionality in my right hand. And that Tuesday, I just went to work. I was working for the Department of Social Services then. I just went to work. I was like, my body will wake up. It's nothing, because me being in the medical field, I know without the face drop and the other things that it wasn't a stroke. So I said, just let me push through it. Wednesday, I started losing the functionality in my right hand, some of it. I couldn't write my name. Uh, and then by Saturday, my son actually had to, we were leaving the church's Christmas party, and my son actually had to switch the gear for me and put my car into drive, because I had moved it into reverse, but I could not put it in drive, because my hand had lost more. And to everybody else, my hand looked fine because it still could wave, move, bend. My fingers just weren't cooperating with that. Um, and then what happened was I went to the doctors on that Monday. The doctor said to me, you go to advanced radiology and get a MRI stat. So I went and got a stat MRI, and the next morning was given the diagnosis of having MS. This was a hard thing for me to accept because one, I already knew the Lord and he already knew that I was going through. So I was like, okay, you're going to add something else right here when I'm trying to get my head above the water, when I'm trying to overcome grief and depression. You're going to add this. So I had some kind of animosity with God, and I had a situation trying to adjust to the news that I received. I was sitting at work when the doctor gave me the diagnosis, and I just burst into tears. And my director let me go home. I went home. I told my family what was going on. Um, and it my hand still wasn't functioning. I was still enrolled in school. And guess what I had to do? I had to drop out. I had to withdraw, not drop out. I had to withdraw because I could not um, type. I would be able to type with my left hand, but not with my right. And it was the energy that I was putting forth at work caused my arm, my right arm, anything that it could do to be completely exhausted and in pain by the end of that day. So I was like, okay, God. And that was December. And I got an email. I got an email in December. And then a phone call from Baltimore City. And the phone call from Baltimore City, it was like, "Are you interested in being a dispatcher for the Baltimore? Or are you still interested? Let me say it, in being a dispatcher for the Baltimore City Fire Department?" And I said, "Yes, most definitely." But I got a little nervous within myself because I was like, "Why would you take another job? This job is already working with you. Um, this job is already working for you, and why would you get another job here?" And I heard God specifically say, "Stop treating yourself or planning your life as if you will be sick always." And you look at me, you may look at me like I'm crazy, but I knew that I heard God specifically say that to me. Stop planning your life as if you will be sick always. And I know in your mind you are saying, okay, MS is incurable. They don't have a cure for it. They have something that can temporarily delay the response of the MS. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but I knew that I heard God say, "Do not plan your life as if you will be sick always." So I said, "God, to show you that I trust you, I'm going to go to this interview." I went to the interview, and then I didn't get a call back. I didn't get a call back, so I just kept on working with Frederick County. The feelings started coming back to my hands. I could clap again. I could worship. I wasn't even telling everybody what was going on because you don't want to speak everything into the atmosphere and put everything out there that you're going through, because a lot of times that's what we do in church. We mask our feelings, we mask our situations, and it doesn't allow other people to overcome by the words of your testimony if you are masking what you are going through. So I was doing the masking thing, and I realized, I said, "No, you're masking it. Go ahead and tell people what you're going through so that your victory, when it comes forth, will be so much greater, and God will be able to reach so much more people through you because they realize that you too were going through." So the lady called, and I want to say it was about April. I want to say about no, it was the beginning of May. I'm telling stories. It was the beginning of May. She called and she said, "Are you still interested in that position?" And I said, "Yes, I'm still interested in the position." Um, she said, "Well, you're hired." That's what she said on the phone. And she said, "You're hired." She was like, "The person right before you decided that they didn't want the position, so you received the position." I said, "Okay, well, thank you so very much." They asked me how much time did I need in order to inform my job before I could start. So I started May the 23rd because I wanted to leave my job the right way. I started May the 23rd with the Baltimore City Fire Department. This job increased my salary. It increased my salary for me to be able to be a better mother, for me to be able to be a better church member, for me to be able to be a better woman, for me to be able to pay for some of the things that I was looking into to go into. It increased my salary by over $9,500. And what it also did, you got to trust God. I'm telling you, in every process, what it also did was cause for um, me to only have to work 182 days a year. I work 4 days and then I'm off 4 days. And then after every 6 weeks, I'm off 12 days because that's how God will set you up if you trust Him. What I didn't tell you was at the beginning of um, my diagnosis, I heard God again and I heard Him say, "You were built for this." And He took me back to me being on a plane. Coming from Brazil, from traveling with Morgan State University Choir. We went and toured in Brazil. Um, and I was looking out the window and I saw the lightning strike the airplane wing that I was in, thousands of miles above the ground. I saw the lightning strike the wing. I realized that the person next to me was already afraid of flying, so I closed the blind. And what happened next blew my mind. Instead of the plane beginning to descend, the plane began to ascend, and it climbed up above the storm, and we returned to a smooth place of travel. And when God told me that I was built for this, it took me back to the mind of that plane. That plane was created to withstand the storm. So whatever the storm is in your life, this is my motivational or encouraging moment. Whatever the storm is in your life, everything that you need to survive it is already within you. Everything that you need to survive it. Like I said, I was molested, I was raped, I was looked over, I was picked over, I was forgot about. There's different stuff. You've been abandoned. There's a lot of things that women go through, but we realize that we were created to get through it. So I know, and I'm not being like I'm not concerned about your current situation because it might be dark, it might be grim. Whatever you're going through might be the worst thing that you ever saw in your life or been through or been in your life. But I'm telling you today that you are created. You were built for this. You were created to go through this storm. Any storm in your life you're facing, just wait till you wake up on the other side of it. And the Lord said that some of us are already already gotten through our storms, but we don't realize that we're on the other side of it because we're still stuck at the fact that it happened to us. Things are going to happen in your life that you feel like you cannot cope with. Things are going to happen in your life that you're going to feel like you can't ever get over. Things are going to happen in your life that you believe and that the enemy sent to take you out, but it did not win. You are victorious. You are more than a survivor. You are a sustained person that is held and kept by God. Right now, you might be a struggle wrapped up in grace, hallelujah, and mercy. Oh God, but your struggle won't last always. I went to school. I told you after I decided, another sister passed. I lost a nephew after that. I got the diagnosis after that and had to withdraw. But what I knew was I had to get back in it, because what happens is we allow stuff to sit us down or knock us out, but we think that we can't stand back up and get back in it. It's up to you. How far you're going to go is nobody. When I tell you, when you got God on your side and a village, there is nobody that can stop you from getting to the dream that you have in your mind but you. And what I say to encourage you today is, don't get trapped in your mind. For a long time, I was trapped by my own opinion of myself. I didn't think that I could. I didn't think that I was enough. Baby, you are more than enough. You are exactly what it takes. And whatever you have gone through, whatever you have been in, whatever God has allowed to happen thus far in your life is meant for you to bring somebody else out. What do you mean by that? And I know that my Barnes Memorial family and other people have heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it for you today. A lot of times the enemy of our mind, our own self-esteem, different things will tell us that what we've been in disqualifies us from being what we want to be and what God has called us to be. But to bring a little clarity to that situation is, and just like a job, when you need and list experiences, you list what you have done. So on this spiritual side, or even in your natural side, in your natural endeavors, becomes a list of what you have done and what you have gone through. And what I call it is a spiritual resume. You can also use it in the natural, because you begin to tell people your testimony about where God has brought you from. So every situation that you found yourself in that God has brought you out of has furthermore qualified you to be exactly what God God has told you that you are going to be. So don't allow the enemy of your mind to tell you that you can't be whatever it is that God has told you to be because you found yourself in a situation that was less than, or that you consider subpar, or you found yourself in the middle of a mistake or a mess up. Whatever it was that you found yourself in, God is going to use it. For we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. So allow your all things to work for you. We allow some of our all things to count us out. No, allow your all things to work for you, because the good, the bad, and the ugly still work for you, because he knows how to turn it around in the middle of a situation. There's a song that comes to mind by Vashawn Mitchell. It won't always be like this. God will perfect what's concerning me, and sooner or later it's going to turn in your favor. Your later is today. Cause your turning to take place today. Get back up today. Jump back into it today. Look at that idea that you put to the side that you don't want to pursue anymore because you messed up the first time, or you feel like it didn't get anywhere, or you didn't have the support that you thought you should have. Let me tell you through this thing, there were very few supporters. Sometimes you just got to tell yourself you got to get up from here and you got to go forward. You got to be your own cheerleader sometimes. Why? Because you deserve to get to the place of promise. And a lot of times we say that we stuck into the promise and the performance. And you know, when you're in the middle of a hallway, you only got walls. You might have two walls. You don't have all four. Some things may seem too far out of your reach, but you're in the middle of it. And while you're in the middle of it, know that that other side could be delayed, but it ain't denied. The other side could be right there, but all of it is waiting for you to make up your mind to move. You can't go forward without motion. You have to get up. And I promise to you, and I'll allow and I'll give Elder Lydia the information that anybody that want to talk to me, call me on my phone, need an inspirational thought message or just a push forward, call me. You know what? A lot of us women don't have positivity in our lives that'll allow us to push forward, or that village that they can lean on, or that crutch. Because sometimes, baby, it get lonely being out there by yourself. You don't have to be by yourself, because God is with us always. For we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. You were built to survive whatever you were in. You were built to overcome whatever you're going through. You were built and created to be great. You were built and created to be awesomeness. You were built and created to be that doctor. You were built and created to be that entrepreneur. You were built and created for it. It gets tough. I'm not going to tell you it don't get tough, but you can't allow yourself to make decisions over emotions. Emotions will cause you to count yourself out because of how you feel. How you feel. It ain't always about how you feel. Your emotions will cause you to cancel things out. How do I know that it happens? How do I know that it happens? Let's listen here and we'll look at Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. He said, Father, if it be your will, let this cup pass. Father, if it be your will, let this going through pass. Let me tell you something. Jesus is a perfect example to look at, because he showed his human side in that moment. But he also showed us in a moment prior to that, because we always say Jesus is 100% man, he's 100% God. That meant that he knew who Judas was before he selected him. But he still selected Judas because of the situation at hand, and because of the rescue that he had to do, the rescuing, the delivering, the saving that he had to do. He still chose Judas, the betrayer. He still chose him because of the purpose. It didn't feel good. He already knew who he was before he invited him to the Last Supper. He said, one of you that are amongst me will betray thee. Judas said, is it I? He said, thou knowest. Sometimes you have to sit in the midst of some situations with some ugly people to get to your purpose. But as long as you get to your purpose, that's all all that matters. Don't allow your feelings or your emotions to cancel out your assignment. For we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. You were built for this. That's it, Elder Lydia. That's all my encouraging moment. And I hope that someone was encouraged by what I said today. You were built for this.
Whoo, sis. Let me tell you something. We were talking before we came on here. You said I don't have to take a scripture, but honey, you preached a word. Okay, let me tell you, because you literally took from what we said last week and just continued on. And that's the
Wow,
thing
wow.
that people don't understand is that we go through grief, we
Yes,
go through issues. Things happen to knock us down, but it doesn't matter unless we get back up.
yes, yes, yes.
What
We have
matters is
to
that you get back up and that you keep pushing.
keep
Man,
pushing.
Tia, you said before we came on, you said, Lydia, you just don't know. I just didn't
Mm,
know, honey. But let me tell
mm,
you
mm,
something.
mm.
I am inspired to go for just from your testimony right now.
Wow, wow, wow,
There are so
wow.
many things that we talk about this on this program all the time
Mm-hmm,
because we are big advocates of mental health.
mm-hmm,
And so a lot of times what happens is when we get knocked down and those emotions that you were talking about is we don't get back up and say, God help us, or even find a mental health professional to help us.
yes.
But guys, let me tell you, and I can't say it enough. It is Jesus and my therapist that helps me to
Right,
get
right.
through.
Exactly. And you need it. You need that space. You need to be able to pour
Yeah,
out. You can't carry all this stuff by yourself. And it's perfectly okay. It's, it's a taboo in the African American community to need mental health or counseling or something. Baby, you be out here going stir crazy if you don't let that stuff
you
out.
got that right.
You be somewhere sitting like a ticking time bomb. And you know what? When you hold all that stuff in, it turns into sickness. You
Yep,
either had high blood pressure, ulcers in your stomach, all this stuff from worrying and cutting your life short instead of just going out there and talk about it and have somebody tell you, no, you ain't crazy, you
right.
real. Your family shouldn't have did that, or your friends shouldn't have done that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And allowing you to
Exactly.
know that your feelings are 100% correct, and that
Yep.
you might sometimes you might even have to be medicated to get through it, but get through it.
Get
Get
through
through it.
it. Yes.
If you feel
Yes.
like you're being overcome, and that's my very first single. My first single that's coming out soon will be Breathe. It's just called
Yes.
Breathe. And
Yes.
just trying to, like, it's going through the process of you being bombarded, and then you feel like your head is finally coming above water. And then here comes another wave of what you're going through. But you just gotta breathe.
Yeah.
You have to breathe.
Yeah. Now I want y'all to hear what Tia just said to us. Okay, I'm going to list some things here. She overcame the death of family members, friends, godparents. She overcame molestation. She overcame everything. She's overcoming MS. But she's graduating today with her master's degree, and she has a single breathe coming out. I want you to understand. I want you to get what's going on right now, right
Right.
here in our midst.
Because
Because sometimes, come on, sis, I'll
the
give it to you.
the diagnosis made me say, okay, it's time for you to get up and go after everything. Go after everything. When the devil thought it would cripple me and make me fearful about pursuing what's my next and what's my new, no, or what's my now even. I'm going after all of it. It
Yes,
cannot stop you. It cannot stop you. I don't care if I gotta lay down 2 days after working the 4 that I work. I'm gonna work, make my money, and do what I gotta do to get where I have to be. And it's just point blank period. And you gotta go all in. If there's no one else to thank you, Pastor Lucretia. If there's no one else to root for you or no one else that deserves your all in, is you. You
yes,
deserve your all in. You deserve your all in. And somebody that you might not even know is out there watching you go after your all in. Put your all, invest into you at some point. Invest
yes,
in you.
yes. And that's the thing. A lot of times as women, we get caught up as being moms and sisters and every other title that we have and forget to invest in ourselves. And then
Forget
we
to
wonder
invest
why
in
we
us.
feel so lost.
Yep.
Because a lot of
Lost.
times that's what we're feeling is lost. We are wandering in a wilderness and don't know where our end is because we forgot to minister to ourselves. We
Yes.
forgot to take care of ourselves. And
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
yeah, definitely use what, because I try not to be too churchy on here because I
It's
really
okay.
want to make sure that we are able to reach the masses. But I want to
Everyone,
tell you,
exactly.
this is what you do. That thing that knocked you down, let that be your springboard to where you're going.
Mm,
Because a lot of times we sit there and we don't even realize if we just take our foot off just a little bit, we're gonna spring so far up in the air and go so far.
yep.
I'm sitting here and I'm talking to Tia, and I'm still just, you don't know, the whole time you were talking, I had my hands up. I don't know if you could see me. I had my hands
I
up,
couldn't.
and I was
I
giving it
couldn't.
up because you
I
were just
couldn't.
saying everything that we need right now.
Yeah.
Because that one thing that take you down is the exact thing that's going to catapult you to your next.
Right. So, as speaking as a person that once lost myself, my identity, because I was so involved in this relationship that was first verbally abusive and then turned physically abusive, it was like, okay, after I bust him in his head, because, yeah, after I bust him in his head, um, where am I? Who are you? And how do you
Mhm.
get back to you? So certain things about my character and my personality and my identity I lost because I was like, only thing I remember was that I was funny. So I stuck with that. And I stuck with making everybody else laugh so they would never feel like I felt on the inside.
Right.
So while I was still in so much pain, I still was focused on helping everybody else laugh so they wouldn't feel how I felt on the inside because you really don't want to let anybody else in because you're hurt, you're damaged, you're bruised, you're stabbed, you're cut, and you're in a defensive mode where you have up these walls that you're only going to let people see what you allow beyond the wall. And a lot of times when you build those walls, they're not protecting you, they're hindering you from the healing that needs to take place
Yes.
because somebody could have seen that you were in so much pain and helped you. It would directed you to that mental health counselor, but you tried to cover it up so much. You masked it. A lot of times, and that's what church is guilty of, and that's why I don't like to talk about church too much. I just like to talk from personal experience. Church is guilty of teaching us how to mask stuff because
Yes, ma'am.
we come on Sunday and we fake like everything is okay. As soon as somebody praise the Lord, they say hello, hey, and the biggest lie that people tell, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. You're not fine.
Right.
The fastest lie that people tell is the most told lie. You're not fine. But you feel
Yes.
like people don't care enough to help you out of where you are. So you just hide it. And you battle it by yourself, but you also allow the enemy to seclude you and work on you the more to take you out.
Yep.
So it's just you have to come beyond it.
Yes.
Have
And
to.
that's why we do these types of things, because Sunday is great for inspiration.
Yeah.
It's a great inspirational time. It's a
Mm-hmm.
great message time. But we have to go the rest of the week. And so the
Yeah.
rest of the week, we need that support that she was talking about. You
Exactly.
need that person to talk to. And that's one of the reasons that we're having the symposium, is because
Mm,
you come to Sunday for inspiration. But what are you doing Monday through Saturday?
exactly. And I
What are you
can't
doing
wait.
Monday through Saturday? Because Monday through Saturday, a lot of people are hiding their head in the sand. They can't see
Exactly.
what's going on around them. They are bombarded with everything. And so, what we want to do is give that opportunity, give that space. That's what this
Yep.
platform is about, is giving that space to say, what happened to you this week?
What
What can we
happened?
help you with? How can we get you to survive life
Exactly.
happening to you? Because life
Yep.
is happening to all of us, and we still have to live.
We
We
have
got to
to.
live.
Yep. Because
We got to live.
my next step from this, Lydia, is going after I want a women's slash girls group that is a mentorship as well as just helping people come through things. So what better would it be for me to have a database of you just got this cancer diagnosis. Okay, this woman have lived through breast cancer. So let her talk to you about what's expected and how to, you know what I mean? Like somebody that
Right.
can walk you through sickness,
Yes.
schooling, career goals, whatever it is, but having that type of setup to where anybody that comes with a situation, drug addiction, trying to get free from domestic violence, anybody, I want to have resources and I want us to be able to have somebody to walk us out of that thing. You know what I mean? Have somebody,
Yep.
sis, don't go back. He's telling you it's going to be different, but don't you go back because he's going to bust you. It's going to get worse this time.
Yep.
Somebody that's there to tell you or walk you through all of your emotional experience. This is just emotion.
Yep.
Or even as simple as, baby girl, you just horny. Don't go back over there. You're going to get messed
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Don't go back because you're feeling lonely. Don't do it. Just, just the
Yeah.
real stuff. That's
But
my
let me
main, I
tell
just want to
you,
set it up.
let's do it. Let's not
Let's
talk
do it.
about it. Let's do
Let's
that,
do it.
because
Yeah, let's do it.
that's what we're about. That's what this is about. This
That's
all
real
of this
ministry.
is that's that's the only ministry that I'm interested in. Now
Listen.
let me say it today, because I don't say it often, but that's the only ministry that I'm interested in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sorry to all the church people that might not watch me no more, but let me tell you now, I am so much more interested in this than I am in Sunday morning. Sunday
Mhm.
morning has
Mhm.
its place. It
Yes,
has
it
its
does.
place. But I'm interested in, what are we doing as the church? What are we doing as just good people?
After
Because
Sunday
everybody
morning.
ain't in the church. What are we
Everybody
doing as
not
good
there.
people after Sunday morning to help our
What are,
fellow man get through?
exactly. What are we doing? And then the thing about it is Jesus did the same thing. He didn't teach the people until he fed them. They was hungry.
Right.
So he fed them first. He
Yep.
met the natural need before he even talked about himself that was the living word. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, so
Right.
it's certain things. Jesus showed us everything to do. And if we are willing,
If we are willing.
if we are willing to go beyond what we thought church was necessary, we'll reach a whole bunch more people that may not never come into the wall of the church, but long as the message was given.
Long, exactly. And that's the whole point. The whole point is, one of my favorite stories in the Bible is when Jesus called Zacchaeus out the tree and say, "Hey, let's go get
Yeah,
something to eat." He
right.
was a
Come
hated
on down.
man. Nobody
Hmm.
wanted to be around him. But he said, "Come on down, let's go get some food, son.
Yeah,
Let's go
let's
get
go get
some
a
food. Let's
sandwich.
sit down. Let's get a sandwich.
Yeah,
Let's talk
listen.
about this."
Cause
Because
you done
that's
climbed
what
the
we
tree
don't
just
do.
to see me. You
Just
done
to see
climbed the
you.
tree just to see me. And then we as a church, we get so focused on what people got on, what they smell like, how they look when they come in the door, that we not really introducing them to Christ. And I need
Right.
I need that introduction.
Yep.
Because it took everything for me to get here. You don't know what I climbed up out of to make the sacrifice to get here, but you right about what I got on.
Right.
It hurts. It's
And that's
damaging to people. We got to get
and that's
beyond it as a
that's
church.
what we gotta get beyond, is we gotta be, and this is not a bashing the church session, but we
No,
gotta
it's
just
not.
be
It's
more
not.
loving. We gotta be
Yes.
more loving. The
We
first
got to
thing you do,
care.
I don't care what you look like and what you smell. Let me just give you a hug and tell you I love you.
Listen. Now
What
you
can we
have
do to
one
make it better for you?
Lydia,
Go
you
ahead.
had one child like I had one child, right?
Yes, ma'am.
God had one son.
Yep.
He loved us so much that he was willing to give that son
Yep.
for all of us. I'm not giving my son up. I went through too much to get him
Yeah.
here.
Me
And
either,
I
sis.
know Julia ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't
Like,
going
I'm not,
nowhere.
they ain't going nowhere. So if the love is of that magnitude for you, why would we introduce anything other than that love?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anything.
But
Everything else is
guys,
religion. It's not
yeah.
spiritual. Everything else is religion.
But
Yeah.
guys, understand that when we give this love, this is how we survive life happening. Because it's
Yep.
all about life happening and surviving life happening. And
Yeah.
then part of what you were saying is, we don't just survive it, we become more than conquerors.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's one thing
Definitely.
to just survive, but it's another thing to become a conqueror of this thing.
Yes, it is. We're gonna conquer
Man,
all of it.
this has been
Lions,
really so
lions
good.
definitely conquer. Lionesses are the
Lionesses.
ones that go out.
Yep.
They the ones that go out and bring the food back for the
They
family.
break.
Lionesses,
Yep.
they bring it
Lionesses
back.
do it. They do it. They raise the
They do
family.
it.
They rear the family. That,
Yeah.
again, you just continuing what we were talking about last week, is that we
Hmm.
as women, we are the ones who nurture the family. We
Yep.
really do. And my belief is that this is the hour that God is using women more to nurture his children back to him.
Yep. Yep.
I
And the
believe
thing
that.
about it is, if we don't take the time as women to be poured into or to be refilled after we pour out, we won't have anything to give. And you
Yep.
need to have something to give because somebody's going to pull on you. Yeah,
Yep.
as a witness, I've been in a person that I've been in a place of my own going through, and somebody's calling. I'm like, I really don't want to answer. And they're like, oh, please answer the phone. I need you to pray. So
Right.
then you come out of yourself already feeling like you don't have anything to pour, and you pour a little more. So you need to have something to pour back in. You need to be bandaged up after your war, after you've received these battle scars and stuff. You need to
Yep.
be
Yep.
bandaged up.
Yep.
Somebody
Yep.
has to place some binding agents on you to help you pull it all back together. And we have to allow these things like this symposium coming up that I cannot wait to attend. I do have to work that night, but I'll be in the morning event. Um,
Okay.
I'll be right there. I can't wait to attend. I'm excited, like I'm really excited. And this is the very first one, and I still believe that it'll be stellar. I think it's just going to be amazing because I would like to compliment you, you know, for a moment. I know you don't want it to be about you, but the way that you and Lucretia orchestrate behind scenes, I cannot wait. I am super excited to see what happens. I'm gonna show up and I'm being my
Amen.
stuff and
Thank
pay
you.
my registration. I'll be right there in the morning. If I fall asleep at work that night, I'll tell y'all. But I'm saying I'll be working.
Yeah.
I should be good.
It's one of those things where when you have a burden for people, it's something to have a burden for people. And my mother is gone and she's not here.
Mine
But I
too.
will
Mine too.
tell you that she had such a burden for people that people lived in our house. She took care of them. She fed them. She picked them up on the street. My mother had a burden for people. And I want to make sure that legacy, because that's the legacy that I want to follow. I
Right,
want to
right,
make
right.
sure that legacy continues, that
Yep.
we pick people up, people who are down, people who don't have. And it doesn't matter how much we had because we didn't have a lot growing up. But guess
Mm-mm.
what? It was six of us, and she would add one more.
Listen.
She would add one more and bring them in and take care of them. And that's the type of legacy that I think is more important than any of this other stuff that we've been worried about,
Hmm.
is that the legacy of help
Yep.
and the legacy of understanding and the legacy
Hmm.
of loving someone, because those things,
Yep.
if you do those right, then you can bring men to Christ. But you got to do
Exactly.
those right first.
Got to. You
Got
got
to do
to.
those right.
You got to.
Oh,
And that's my mom. She had 16 and then so many million more adopted
right.
that she counseled and took care of or called and sacrifices. Her between her and my dad, lady, I remember coming home from school one day and our furniture being gone out of our living room. And it was because one of the saints had experienced a fire and lost all their stuff. And our furniture went out the front door and to that
Hmm.
family. So I was like, so what we supposed to go sit upstairs on your bed and go sit upstairs on your bed and do your homework.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
me go do my homework on my bed. And it ain't take them long to put it back. But I'm saying we came home to no furniture. And
Right.
then had to do schoolwork. So it's just that
Yeah.
it's those type of hearts that go beyond yourself to see beyond the mask and see that people are hurting.
Yes.
And
Yes.
helps is a gift.
It
It's
is.
one of the gifts. It's the gift of helps is definitely a gift. It's a gift
Yeah.
that's supposed to be in the body of Christ.
Right. And
Definitely.
that is, you know, I always tell people if I was ever to have a ministry, it would be the Without Walls ministry, because
Yeah,
the walls keep us from the people.
they
It's a
do. It
barrier.
definitely does.
It's a
Hmm.
barrier that keeps us from doing the work that Jesus did. Tia, this
Exactly.
has been, oh my gosh, such a good conversation. We're already 43 minutes in, and I'm like, how do we get there that fast?
Right, right.
But this
It's
is this is
amazing.
such this is such a amazing conversation. But what we're talking about is so important. And look, if you're out there, because I want to say this, and I don't usually say this, but if you out there and you have a heart like the women that you've seen on this program, contact us. Contact us at the Lioness Den.
Hmm.
Contact us at the Lioness Den. We are looking for like-minded people to join us in our mission. Contact us, get in contact with Pastor Tia. You can email us on the Linus Den. I'm going to put it up there. You can email us. You can inbox us on Facebook. Whatever you have to
Hmm.
do. If you want to
Whatever.
contact, whatever. If you want to contact Pastor Tia, her name is Tia Harris right there on Facebook.
Hmm.
Please inbox her. I promise you she answered, because she answered me when I sent her a message on Facebook. So she'll answer you.
I answer.
But yeah,
I answer.
call us. I am LC Chapman on Facebook. Send us messages. We are willing to help. We are willing to help, but we are helping in an organized fashion. See, because sometimes people
Mhm.
misunderstand when you say you're willing to help and they gonna call you and say,
Yeah.
send me $20. We
No,
are
that's
helping
not
in an
it.
organized fashion. That's what's going on here, Saints.
Sorry, that's
Friends.
the that's the DJ setting up the music. That's all. Don't worry about
Oh, that's okay. We
it.
look, if I was in Maryland today, I'd be right there with you
Listen,
celebrating, partying
listen.
down,
It's a
sis.
full celebration. Get ready to happen right here. But we definitely, I have no problem with reaching out to anybody
Yes,
that wants that assistance. And that's another data bank that I want to have of resources that's in
yes,
cities. Like you'd be able to have one in North Carolina, and I could have one in Baltimore City of
yep,
what access people have to stuff because people don't know that stuff is really going on in their community that could help them. They really don't. And
absolutely.
it's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of programs that can help more than social services and such.
Yep.
There's other programs out there that are willing to help you from right where you are. So
And
definitely.
if you're looking for a mental health professional and one that you can trust, send me a message. I have a whole list of different mental health, uh, what you call the mental health things that will help you. And
Hmm.
and I've had that for the past couple of years because I believe that mental health is one of the major ones that we overlook, especially
Yep.
in our communities. So let me know. And any other thing, because I just collect resources a lot of times just to know where
Yes.
it is and I can put my finger on it. So let us know. And Tia, we're gonna get together because that database, we're gonna get that filled out. We're gonna get this group
We need
started
it. We need it.
because
Yes.
we need it.
Yep.
We
We
need it and
definitely
we
need it.
were built for this.
Yep. For this right here,
We
all that
built
we
for this.
want, and we
We were
built to
built
help
for this.
somebody else realize what they built for. We built.
Yep.
We got it, sis.
Yep.
We going.
So be
Going
in
forward.
touch with us, please. Tia, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Congratulations again.
Thank
Um,
you.
I'm proud of you. I know I'm not that much older than you, but let me be the big sister and say, I'm proud of you, little sis.
Thank you
You
so
did it.
much.
And I have to tell
I
y'all,
appreciate
we
you.
interchanged these titles because what was it, about a month ago? Tia was
Hmm.
being a big sister. I was ordained elder and I called
Right.
called Pastor Tia and we had a long conversation because it was a new place for me. And let me tell you who talked me straight on through it, straight on through it.
You have to.
We, we just talked straight on through it and she helped me out.
Yeah.
So she real, y'all. I don't like to bring fake people on and I don't, but I do
Amen.
bring
And I
real
don't want to
people.
deal with none. I don't want to deal with none. No fake people. Real love.
Yeah, we'll do the
Understood.
fake thing. But
Yeah.
thank you so much again, Pastor Tia. You're getting the awesome
Thank you,
session
God.
from the
Thank you
ladies
so much.
in the room.
Thank
Um
you ladies, so
and
much. I
and
appreciate you even inviting me on. I really, really do. Thank you so much.
hey, that real people, that's all I'm gonna say to that. We'll talk about that
All
off the
right.
camera. Real people.
Okay.
Ladies,
All right.
again, the Survivor series is coming up. The in-person session that is coming up on October the 23rd. I am getting the commercial ready here. So if you see me looking around, looking a little crazy, that's what it is. Um, but we are coming up to the Survivor series coming up this next Saturday, not next Saturday, Saturday after next.
Saturday after
Um,
next. Yep.
coming up the Saturday after next, and I'm gonna share this with you.
That floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day.
I'm here, y'all. Give me one. There I go. Can you hear me? I'm back. Um,
Okay.
so next Saturday we will have our guest host will be Dina Cruz Connors, and she will be on with Lena Dennis on another uh, installment of the Survivor Series, Life Happens. I also want to make you aware of the mental health conference that's going to be on next Saturday, and that will air on the Legacy Fellowship channel. Um, YouTube and Facebook. So check it out. We like to make sure that we have these talks so that people can get the great information. And I promise you, you will not be um, disappointed. Along with that, guys, the one thing I think I said it last week, and I want to say it this week. In the 1 day symposium, we have a awesome keynote speaker in the person of Miss LaDawn Bridges, and she is a personal, I will say, friend of mine. But she is a mental health professional, and she's coming to talk to us and give us tips on how to deal with what what to do when life happens. So I'm going to share one last commercial with you. I promise this is the last one, and I'm going to let you go for the day. But I want to share the mental health conference commercial with you so that you can see what we have going on, and you will be there to join us on uh, next week and for the rest of the month. So here we go. Okay. Okay. There it is. Uh, Tia, for joining us. And we're going to end today. I had a lot of commercials to add in. Uh,
No
Takes a lot
problem.
of what you call technical savvy to try to get them all in. But we thank you for coming. And I
Thank
tell
you.
you, I want to have you back again. I think we are going to do some great work together. I know we're going to do
Can't
some
wait.
great work
I'm
together.
excited. I'm excited. I can't wait.
I am, I am pumped.
I'm excited.
But yes, thank you everybody for logging on today, for checking us out. Please, if you're catching it on the replay, thank you for catching it on the replay. Register, 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 register today. Let us get your lunch orders and stuff together. That's why we're registered. We're pre-registered so we can have everybody's food orders together. So register,
All
come
right.
and join the conversation on October the 22nd. Going to start about 9:30 in the morning. Can't wait to see you. Y'all have a blessed weekend, and
Bye.
we will
We
see you
will.
next time. Bye bye.
All righty. Bye bye.
Today just say today ain't my day. Here we go. It's gonna work. It's gonna work too. All right. Y'all have a blessed day.